In today's video, we're going to talk about underrated areas to live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sam Sansalone, and I'm a real estate agent in the Hampton Roads area that goes from Virginia Beach through Williamsburg, and I do videos every week about living and moving to the area. So today we're talking about underrated areas or neighborhoods in Virginia Beach that I think people often look over, or they get focused on other parts of the city, but overlook these types of areas that I think you can get some good value for, especially now that the interest rates and the prices of houses have increased in Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads. So we'll go through three specific areas, and I'll talk about neighborhoods within those areas that I think are worth targeting. So let's go and I'll share the map with you so you can see where I'm talking about. So here's the entire Virginia Beach area. On the northwestern section of this area, there is an area there are certain names for it. One is considered Witch Duck, or you see Thoroughgood is a big neighborhood that I talk about and have talked about a lot in my past videos about Virginia Beach that I absolutely love. Well, this northwestern section has other neighborhoods in there and areas that I think are worth targeting that people just don't talk about much. And there are four general neighborhoods in this area: Lake Shores, Lake Smith Terrace, Lakeview Shores, and Lakeview Park. And they all sound kind of similar. They're near an area called Lake Smith and Lake Lawson, which is right next to there. So if you look on the map here, Shore Drive is on the northern section of this area and connects towards Norfolk on the west and towards the rest of Virginia Beach on the east. And you're close to Route 13 Military Highway, which goes all the way up to the north part where Chicks Beach is, which is not very far away, and over onto the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, which goes into the eastern shore, but also into Norfolk on the south side as well. But this area has a lot of houses built in the 50s and the 60s. So if someone wants an area that is relaxed, has more of a woodsy kind of a outdoors nature feel to it, also has well-built houses, these are mostly brick, as well as areas that have lake access and water access. Lake Smith and houses near it are very, very helpful and very important because you can get houses in here for as low as 400s, upwards of, on the lake, you're gonna be up closer to 6 and 7. But price-wise, value-wise, you can get some good properties in here in those, even upper threes, mainly 400 upwards to $600,000 and $700,000 either on or off the lake. So you see, looking on the overhead here, there are a lot of trees. You see how much green there is in this area, kind of close like what it's like in Thoroughgood, which I like a lot. But drop a pin in here, you'll see all of these trees, all the foliage, it just feels like you're in nature, and these lots as well are quite large. So this is also something that's hard to find in the $400,000 to $500,000 price range if you want decent sized lot, which here there are some good sized lots. Now another thing you'll notice too is that these streets are a lot less manicured than others that might be in newer neighborhoods, 80s, 90s, 2000s and up. And you see like those ditches are on the sides of the roads, and they're a little bit more of a narrow street off the houses as opposed to these newer areas, which can be a drawback to some people. But if you want that nature feel to it, you see how nice this is and how quiet it can be back here with all the trees and foliage. And then if you go zoom in on the lake access, there's some houses in here that have lake access. Some of these are going to be over $1 million if you saw them listed right now, but a lot of them are in the 6s and 7s. One of the reasons is because the lake access is not deep water access to the Chesapeake Bay or to the ocean. So if you look back, I'll do a zoom out of the map here, you see it stops closer to the Little Creek Fort Story base. It's a lake. It's one of the bigger lakes, if not the biggest lake, I think, in Virginia Beach. Very nice if you want some access to water, but don't want to pay as much as you might have to pay if you're going to be over, for example, on the beach, close to Chicks Beach, for example. Another benefit to this area is that it is close to Chicks Beach. You're about 8-ish minutes away from Chicks Beach. But you're also about 15 to 20 minutes away from the ocean front as well, over on the eastern side, as well as you got shopping, which is near Town Center. If you go like just, again, another 7 or 8 minutes, you got Town Center, which is a Wegmans, my favorite grocery store, Target, Nordstrom Rack, downtown area, which is called Town Center, with restaurants and shopping in there. A whole lot going on in the Town Center area that's about 7 or 8 minutes away from this section as well. Even if you leave Virginia Beach, you're only about 20 minutes away from downtown Norfolk. You're close to the Little Creek Amphibious Base and also the Norfolk NOB base, which is on the northwestern section of Norfolk. And you're about 20-ish minutes away from the Virginia Beach Naval Air Station at Oceana. In addition to that, the school districts. So you see, one thing you notice that it's in the Bayside High School District. This can be a detriment or a perceived detriment because the Bayside, if you look on the like niche.com, greatschools.org, you see they're ranked near the lower end of these schools, if not the lowest, in Virginia Beach. But if you notice as well, the elementary schools and the middle schools are often ranked a bit higher, if not very high. For example, Independence Middle, Sheldon Park Elementary, Thoroughgood Elementary, and also Hermitage Elementary. These are higher ranked in the area, so if you do have kids, younger kids, and you're concerned about the rankings, check online, do your research, but I do think that based on where a lot of those are ranked, you might be pleasantly surprised as to what you might find. So, shifting attention over further west, in an area that I think is also highly overlooked in Virginia Beach, is an area called Thalia. And now if you look at Virginia Beach in general, you'll notice I talk a lot about Little Neck and Great Neck in Virginia Beach. And one of the reasons I like Little Neck is because it's in a cul-de-sac, a big cul-de-sac that if you drive in, you can only drive out one direction. Well, the same goes with Thalia, which is just west of that Little Neck area in Virginia Beach. So when you get off of Route 58, which is Virginia Beach Boulevard, if you go just off of there, that's where you turn into Thalia. And when you drive on Route 58 on the boulevard, I'll show you what I'm talking about, you're on a very major road. And when you drive by there, you don't even realize where you are and how close you are to Thalia. So you can drive, do all your shopping on Virginia Beach Boulevard, go to Town Center, which is only a few minutes away, and also turn, if you just see the Aldi right here, turn on Thalia Road, and all of a sudden, as you turn off on that road on Thalia Road, just going back here, you are in a quiet oasis, similar to what you might find near Lake Smith, but even more so. These houses can be bigger. You'll see some in the 18 or the 1,400 square feet range. You'll see them in the 2,000s. You'll see them in 25 as well, but you start seeing them in like the 3,000, 4,000. Some of these houses are big, especially as you get closer to the water. It doesn't have that same manicured feel to it, but that's one of the reasons why it has a lot of charm. And so houses built in the 50s, the 60s, same kind of thing as what you might find in the Lake Lawson Bayside area, but these are a little bit higher. So you might find for a price, you can see some still in the upper 3s and low 4s, but most of them are going to be $450,000 to $600,000. And then as you get larger, you're going to be talking closer to 6 and 7. But the thing about this area is it has deep water access. So as you zoom out of here, you'll see as you get on the water, you'll see houses on the water, deep water access connecting all the way up to the Lesner Bridge in the Chesapeake Bay, the Lynnhaven Inlet up there. Having that access and having that close proximity to Route 58 and Virginia Beach Boulevard is so huge. So these houses are anywhere from like the $800,000 to the start with, mostly over $1 million. Again, as you get on the water with that deep water access, which is hard to find under $1 million. But once again, foliage, foliage, foliage. The further back you go, you'll find a little bit more of a hack to get a better house. You can get a house like 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath in that area. As you zoom out as well, shopping, I mentioned Pembroke, I mentioned Town Center in Virginia Beach, as well as you're closer to Hilltop, which is over on the Virginia Beach section east, closer to the actual beach. This has all the spots, Target, another Walmart, another hub of shopping, as well as Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, which are the only ones like that in Virginia Beach. And so you have access to that. Like 13, 14 minutes away. And also one of my favorite restaurants in Virginia Beach is in the top northwestern corner, which is Steinhilber's, which I love Steinhilber's, but you don't even know you're in the area where Steinhilber's is because it's in the back corner of Thalia. So if you drop a pin next to the restaurant, if you drive down the main road, see this is Thalia, there's Thalia. You drive back in the corner there, and there's Steinhilber's in the corner, and it overlooks the water. So you can see get some nice sunset views. There's a balcony or a big porch that overlooks the water that's next to the restaurant. So it's a great restaurant, but it's just tucked away in that corner there. I love it. So it has a lot of great stuff. Another thing too is you're getting great school districts. Princess Anne High School is there, as well as Princess Anne Middle School. But you also get Thalia Elementary, which is another higher ranked school district in Virginia Beach. Now, one difference between parts of Thalia and the others is as you go further south, you see less foliage. So you see back here, the trees are thick. As you get further south, you'll get a bit more, like it's still nice, but just a lot less trees in relation to the amount of houses that there are. And so you also might find a bit more value if you can get a house in that section because it's a little bit smaller, lots are a little bit smaller, and so you might be able to find a cheaper house because of that. Now shifting south away from this whole northern section is a newer subdivision. I know people are often like a lot of newer houses. These aren't brand new, but they are much newer in relation to different floor plan styles, and it's an area in Salem, which is a very high-ranked school district in Virginia Beach. It's called Salem Woods, and Coventry, which is across the street. So if you look on the map, you'll see Salem High School, Middle School. So on the north side of there, this is Salem Woods. And on the south side, this is Coventry, right next to these schools. And so if you drop a pin in here, you'll see really quiet streets. Again, just off the main road, but very quiet and very well-proportioned houses in this area. Now this area, Salem Woods, which is the north side, has houses that are in that mostly 22 to 3,200 square feet. And you'll see a lot of nice trees, bigger houses, and the floor plans are starting to be more contemporary. Some ranch style, but still open concept. You haven't seen the ranch style get phased out nearly as much yet, but these are built mostly in the 80s. And so you'll see some are still boxy, but some also have floor plans that have been opened up inside. So you get a mixture of boxy and some newer open concepts even more so. So you're starting to see that change happen in a neighborhood like this. I love this neighborhood for that reason, as well as just the calmness. It's kind of a local staple to me. And so the design, the feel of the neighborhood is very awesome for the price. And so for $450 to $525, mostly you'll find some great houses, great prices, or great sizes of houses, especially if you want like a 4-bedroom, even 5-bedroom house. This is the option if you want the price range and also the school district, because this area is in the Salem High School District, pretty highly ranked, as well as Salem Middle School and White Oaks Elementary School. And so check the ranks on there, see what you think. But I think for the price, this is one of the better spots, all things included, for the price in Virginia Beach. And moving just south of there, you will see Coventry. Coventry is a little bit smaller, so if you want a little bit more of a pivot, a little bit cheaper, low 400s price range, maybe mid 400s, you can go down into this Coventry neighborhood just south of there, next to Salem, and you'll get this style of house, like 3-4-bedroom houses in that 2,000, even a little bit smaller, but mostly 2,000 to 24-ish 100 square feet range. You'll see some a little bit larger than that as well, but in the low to mid 400s is the spot to be. And so this area has also in-demand school districts, all that stuff, and you know, again, nothing fancy, but for the price, you do get a lot as far as lifestyle is concerned. You're also close to lots of shopping. You're close to a Harris Teeter. Well, one thing I will say though, that the closest grocery store that is near these neighborhoods is a Food Line that I'm not a big fan of. I would drive an extra about 4 or 5 minutes to get to the Harris Teeter. I like that one way more. But you can go the other direction and get to the Target, Walmart pretty easily, 8 to 10 minutes. You're also about 20 minutes away from Oceana. You're about 20 to 25 minutes away from like Little Creek and Norfolk NOB, even closer to 30 minutes, which is another drawback to this neighborhood, is that while it's central to Virginia Beach and south central Virginia Beach, you're also getting further away from Interstate 64 and 264, which are the main ways to get from larger or farther distances away from Virginia Beach a lot faster. So if you're not close to those two interstates, it's going to take you longer to get there. But these houses, I think, stability, school systems, in-demand stuff, near parks. You have several parks nearby. For the price and all of those things, you get a great buy in Salem Woods and also Coventry in Virginia Beach. So if you have any more questions about living in Virginia Beach or anywhere else in Hampton Roads through Williamsburg, let me know. That's what I do. I love getting into the details with people, helping people relocate to this area. So if you have any questions, I have my contact information in the description. You can reach out anytime and I'll do whatever I can to help you relocate to the area. And I will see you on the next video.